Alright guys, so today we're going to continue on using Pythagorean theorem. Yesterday and the last couple of days, we just did the Pythagorean theorem to find the hypotenuse. So what we know is the Pythagorean theorem also works for other than just the hypotenuse. So on the screen is just a review. Make sure you're whisking this in your notebook. Today's objective is going to be using the Pythagorean theorem to find any missing links of a right triangle. Remember that the hypotenuse is opposite of the right angle, so right here. If I draw my arrow straight across, I know that C is my hypotenuse. So from here, I just write down the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. What I like to do is replace each variable with just a parentheses. Squared plus parentheses squared equals parentheses squared. Next, I put in the numbers or the values that they give me. I know that I need to find hypotenuse, and they gave me the other two legs, so I'm just going to go in there and write 9 and 12. Is equal to C. That's what I'm looking for. So what I have right now is 9 squared is 81 plus 12 squared is 144 is equal to C squared. 81 plus 144 is 225 is equal to C squared. That's the whole area off the square. So in order to find just what the length of C is, I would take the square root of both sides. And here I have the square root of 225 is 15 is equal to C. So the right here I know that C is equal to 15 feet. So I'll put this in my box. Okay, so that's just a review of what we've been doing the last couple of days. Next, we're gonna get into finding the leg. So I know that the Pythagorean theorem works for this one as well because I can clearly see that it's the right triangle. So I'm gonna go ahead and write down the theorem. A squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Immediately just follow that by parentheses. Squared plus parentheses squared is equal to parentheses squared. And I'm going to put in the numbers that they give me. I know that if this is b, then that's got to be a, so I'm going to put 9 there. B is not given to me, so I'm going to put the variable there. C is definitely given to me, so this is 15. So what I have now is 9 squared plus b squared is equal to 15 squared. So I know that I don't need to add here to find the hypotenuse. In fact, I needed to do the opposite of adding or the inverse of adding, which is subtracting to find the missing leg. So just watch how I do this real quick. 9 squared is 81. B squared is just positive b squared is equal to 15 squared is 225. So first thing I need to do, this is a two-step equation. You can definitely do the do-undo table if you want. Let me show you that real quick. Here's my do-undo result. Here is B. The first thing that happens to it is it gets squared, and then it gets added to 81. So the first thing I need to do is subtract 81 from both sides, and then the opposite of squaring is square root of B. So if I take 225, subtract 81. These are very similar numbers to the before. So 225 minus 81 is 144. Square root that, I get 12. So my missing leg, minus 81, minus 81. I'm just doing the undo to my equation. I get b squared is 144. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. B is now equal to 12. So B is 12 centimeters. So in fact, that's the trick. If you're finding the hypotenuse, you add. If you need to find one of the legs, you subtract. Okay, going on. This is a very popular question. The bottom of an 18-foot ladder, the bottom of an 18-feet ladder is 5 feet from the side of the house. Find the distance from the top of the ladder to the ground. So I already put a picture in here for you. If you read it, it says it's 5 feet from the house, and it's 18 feet long. We need to find the height of the house. So I'm going to redraw this. Here's the height of the house. Here's the ground, and here's the ladder. You can clearly see from my picture, my triangle, that this is in fact a right triangle. So the ladder is really the hypotenuse, and the base could be leg A or leg B. I'm going to go ahead and put 5 feet right there. So I need to find A. I'm going to write the theorem real quick. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. I'm going to put in my automatic template, which is parentheses, get rid of the letters and just parentheses, and I get parentheses squared plus parentheses squared is equal to parentheses squared. Put in what they give me. A, B is 5. The ladder is the diagonal. I know that's the hypotenuse, so that's 18. So then we get A squared plus 25. Where did 25 come from? 5 squared is 25 is equal to 8 squared. If you don't remember what 8 squared is, just use your calculator. Type in 18 squared is 324. So I know it's 324. So right away, I know that if I built this area right here off the leg, 18 times 18, the area of this box is 324. So each side length is 18. That's all I'm doing. And then I subtract 25 from both sides. And I get A squared is equal to, let's do that on a calculator so you can see what's happening, 324 minus 25 is equal to 299. Hopefully I mentioned this in class. In order to find just the leg length, so if I draw this out, this entire area is 299. In order to find what A is, I take the square root of both sides. So A is equal to the square root of that, which is approximately, change that, 17.29 feet. However, if you know that the square root of 299 is, 299 is irrational because 299 is not a perfect square. So another way you can write this is you can just write A is equal to the square root of 299 feet. Both of these answers are acceptable. They're approximately. This is the approximation, and this is the exact answer. The exact answer is when you leave it in the square root form. Okay. This one is just an example for you. I'm going to go ahead and ask you to do this by yourself, and then I will continue on. Pause the video here, and then when you're finished, push play to see if you get the same answer. I'm going to go ahead and continue on. So if you want to pause it right now. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so this is just a walkthrough of what we did earlier. Watch what happens. It says fill in the blanks to find the missing length. Here is my rectangle. I know right across from there is the hypotenuse. So they gave me C and they gave me A. I need to find B. So I'm going to put in A, which is 6. 6 squared is 36. C squared, they gave me C, so C squared is 100. So here I have 36 plus B squared is equal to 100. In order to solve for this, I would subtract 36 from both sides. Okay, so I get 100 is equal to 36 plus B squared minus 36 minus 36. This goes away. I get B squared is equal to 64. I square root both sides. B is equal to 8. And that is my missing length. By the way, 6, 8, 10 is definitely a Pythagorean theorem triplet. Alright, so now let's talk about a more complex question. They will often ask you to find distance on the coordinate plane. So there's a reason why I haven't really talked about slope, because you don't use slope to find distance. You use slope to find one point to the other. So find the distance between -4 and 9. So I'm going to go -4, I'm going to go up to 9. I'm going to plot this point right here. And 1 and -3, which is right here. So what you need to do is you need to find the distance between these 2 points. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect the 2 points and make a straight line off of it. Let's make a better color so you guys can see it. Let's do blue. Okay, so I'm going to connect that. So really, I need to find this. If you look, this is a diagonal. What have we been calling the diagonal? Really, this is called the hypotenuse. So the trick to this is on the coordinate plane, this grid, you just go in there and draw your right triangle. So let me switch colors. I'm going to draw it in red. So in order to find the length of this, I need to build myself a right triangle. And I know I can do it right there. And I know I can do it right there. And you can do it on the other side too if you want. Let me move it down a little bit. Okay. That's all you need to do. And here's my right angle. I need to go 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, 5 units, 6 units, 7 units, 8 units, 9 units, 10, 11, 12. This is 12 units tall. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's 5. So I need to find this leg length right here. I'm going to call it C because that's my hypotenuse. Here's my right angle. I just made it. And there it is. So I just go A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. And all I do is put in my parentheses. And I put in the numbers they gave me. They gave me A, which is 12. They gave me B, which is 5. And they don't give me C. That's what I'm looking for. So 144 plus 25 is equal to C squared. 144 plus 25 is 169 is equal to C squared. Luckily, I know C 169 is a perfect square. C, I square root both sides. So square root of 169 is 13. There it is. To find the diagonal on the coordinate plane, all I have to do is build and sketch and draw the right triangle and count how many units, label it, and use the Pythagorean theorem. So the distance between these 2 points is 13 units apart. Okay, and that's all I have. Make sure you guys are whisking the video. If this was kind of confusing, rewatch it, and then we'll discuss it in class. Thanks, guys.